let's learn a little about how to get control of Apache. Remember that we can be running the Apache server either in the host OS, which in our case is the EC2 instance, running on AWS, or we could be having it running inside of a Docker container on AWS. So there are two places on our host machine where Apache could be running, either on the host directly or inside a Docker container on the host. So how can we figure out what our current status is? We're starting out here with the site down, okay? Apache doesn't appear to be running anywhere, either in the container or in the host OS. So we come over here and we click on to our current assignment, Docker HTML Viewer, and we go to Apache Controller, and we see that there are some scripts here for starting Apache, stopping Apache, and figuring out the status of Apache. Or if you want them, I've created one called Apache Control, which looks like this, which contains the start, stop, and status, and gives you a menu for choosing what you want to do with it. So let's go ahead and copy that, a little bit of text, and let's paste it in. And now in the current directory, we have a copy of Apache Control, which is our script. We're pulling it out of JS objects, so you have to have JS objects installed and up to date to make that work. And then we are choosing, let's check the status of Apache. And as you look here, you can see that it's currently not running. There's lots of stopped stuff going on. So let's go ahead and choose A and start it, and then let's check the status. And now, as you can see, it's actively running. So let's stop it again for a second, and let's exit, and let's go into our HTML viewer, and let's see right now, do we have any containers? We don't have any. Do we have any running containers? No, since we don't have any. And then let's go ahead and build a container, and then let's check again, and you can see that now our container is running, and as we know, it has Apache running on it, and it's using port 80. So let's go back to the Apache Control, and we'll check the status, and it's not running. The reason it's not running is because what it's checking is it running in the host OS? It doesn't know or care about what's happening in the container, and it's not running there. So let's try and start it. And when we do, it says Apache 2 service failed. And the reason is port 80 is being used by this other version of the thing. And so we can check Apache status, and it's not good. So when you get stuck like this, sometimes where it appears you can't get back to the menu, press Q. Sorry about that. I'm not quite sure how to make it stop doing that. And then let's go into the HTML viewer. And remember, at this time, we have it running, HTML viewer container running. So let's do Docker stop HTML viewer container. And now when we do Docker check which containers are running, there aren't any running, but if we look, are there any containers? The container still exists, it's just it's not running. So let's go back to Apache Control, and let's go ahead and check the status, and it's in that failed status. So I press Q again to get out of that view, and then let's choose A to start it, and now let's go back and check the status, and this time it's running. So if we came up here, we can see that we are getting results. There's something here for us to look at and play with here at this time. Not very pretty, but there's something there. And let's go back now and stop it, and we can check the status, and we see that it's not running up here anymore. It's no longer loaded, and various things say that it's stopping and stopped. And so we'll come up here and we'll try to view it, and we get no joy. So we'll exit out of there, and let's go back into HTML viewer. And then, as you recall, we do have a container, that we could use, but it's currently stopped, so let's start it. Docker start HTML viewer container, and then let's go back and look, and are there any running ones? Yes, there is one, and as we can see, it's running on port 80. That's the key thing here, is that it's running on port 80. And then let's go back to the browser, and if we refresh it, we see that it's running. We're up and running. While if we stop it, then it stops running. So here now you should be able to get control over Apache, over your containers, stop them, start them, understand what's wrong when they're not working. Remember, one command that I'm not showing you here that I didn't show you again was on Docker starter. Remember, you can use this command to delete all your non-running Docker containers. Okay, so enough of all this.